Good afternoon. For our last speaker today, we are pleased to introduce Тодд Reyrdен, head coach of the Washington Capitals. Todd is in his second season as the Capitals head coach and sixth with the organization. He spent his first 2 seasons with the Caps as the team's assistant coach before spending another 2 seasons as the team's associate coach. He was part of the coaching staff that helped the Capitals capture their first Stanley Cup in franchise history in 2018. Prior to joining Washington, Todd spent 6 seasons with the Penguins organization, 4 as an assistant coach of Pittsburgh, and 2 with their AHL affiliate. While he was part of the Pittsburgh coaching staff, he helped the Penguins capture the 2009 Stanley Cup. We're very excited to have Todd join us this year for our coaching clinic. His topic today is titled Practice with a Purpose. Glad to have you join us, Todd. With that, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, Lindsay. Thank you very much again for the kind introduction, for this opportunity. I think it's an honor to be a part of this year's 2020 NHLCA Coaches Clinic. I think it's, the people that you have signed up and are a part of this clinic this year are absolutely an amazing group of people that I think that all coaches are going to learn from. Not just hockey people, they're people that are successful in their own areas of life. And I think it's something that as coaches, I'm looking forward to taking all these presentations in and being able to learn myself from others. So I think you guys have done a phenomenal job, and want to thank the CA for putting together such a first-class clinic here with just a number of people that are really exceptional in what they do. So before I get to my topic, which I'm really excited to get to today, I just want to make sure and send out my thoughts and prayers to everybody as we go through this difficult time in our life, in our world. Really, we're going to have people from all different spots in the world tuning into these videos. So just want to make sure that everyone continues to stay healthy and stay safe here. And without taking up any more of my hour time, I'm going to get right to something I feel really strongly about, and that's practice with a purpose. So what I've done here is I put together a presentation about kind of a situation that's gone on for years, is how you can possibly get more out of your practices. I think I was fortunate enough to play for 13 years and now been coaching for 12 years. So 25 years, I think everyone has always talked about how can we get more out of practice. And I was something that I've been working on and actually coming up with a plan to do this over the last 12 years. I'm going to share some of those ways that I was able to do that with you today. And it's something that I think that all coaches use this phrase, but I think it's important to have a clear plan, especially for today's young players and players of all different ages, to have them understand exactly what the plan is. They want to know why they're doing things. It's obviously a different generation than it was years ago. And I think that instead of the idea of practice just being something that took up time until you got to play the games, I think it's really an important area that you can improve on, you can get better at. And I want to share some of the trials and tribulations that I've gone through in doing this, and sort of my agenda that I went through to form this presentation today. So we're gonna go through a number of different things. We're gonna talk about the meaning of practice with a purpose, having a plan and proving that it's something that can help them. The technique that I use to implement this concept in a number of different ways. And then I'm going to show some tangible examples, actual video examples from both the Washington Capitals and Pittsburgh Penguins to share with you today, because I think it's obviously unfortunate to be on two outstanding organizations like that. But for me, this is really a presentation for all different levels. Boys, girls, the best NHL players, which we're going to be able to see, to aspiring players, European players, and something that I hope that everybody can take something from here is practice with a purpose. So for me, it's something that's been said a lot. And I think today's generation, it wants to know why. They want to know why this is going to be different. How is this going to be different? And I think it's important that you have a plan in place to be able to get this message across. And what I really think you need to have is you need to have some different ways to tap into their abilities to learn things. And first things first, okay, is you've got to be able to have a mission statement, and you have to have a plan of how you're going to do business as a coach. And I think for me, that's been to create a positive culture and create a situation where the players enjoy coming to work. They know they're going to have an opportunity to get better, and then still they're going to be held accountable to a higher standard of doing things. And the way I was able to do this, was really, I was able to do this through a tangible visual way. And I thought I needed to add something different than just talking to them. And I really used the use of video over the last 12 years to really build and add credence and add, I'd say, a way to relate to these subjects for all different players. You want to try to appeal to as many different possible senses when you're trying to teach a player, trying to teach another coach even, how to improve people. So for me, I thought that practice was something that you could easily make improvements on, areas that you can really develop details, habits, and help to create your foundation as a player. And that's really been my calling card. I think if I look at my last 12 years of coaching, is that I really provided those details and habits, and I've shown the players that once that becomes foundation, that now these skills, once the pressure gets turned up and you get into game situations, they become second nature for you. And now it's easy for those things. They're very transferable habits and details, and they're things that you have to have in your game to have success. And again, like I said, this is a topic that goes to everybody. And you can see on my slide right here, kind of broken down, and you can look back on these slides more after I'm done speaking. But just to see the difference of amount of times that coaches in different leagues have to actually spend time practicing. And I think that we can all take more advantage of that with a little bit of some of the tricks and some of the ways that I was able to really, I think, turn the corner in my coaching career and help all different players continue to improve and get better as I encountered a number of different challenges along the way. So for me, the very first challenge for me after coming out of college hockey was to become an American Hockey League coach. So I went into a situation in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, where I was the assistant coach there. Coaching in Wilkes-Barre, you know that American League players very hungry, very driven to get to the next level. So you have a unique a player there. Some players that are very excited and are really on the edge of ultimately relying and getting to seeing that their ultimate dream getting fulfilled. So I went into that situation, new coach, inexperienced, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to get video examples. So during that very first training camp that I went to in Pittsburgh, I knew we were going to be using the same exact drills in Pittsburgh as we were in Wilkes-Barre. So I ended up getting set up again, not a huge technology situation here. So something that's doable for everybody out there. Everybody from, again, amateur hockey all the way up to the top level is a situation where all you need to have is a still camera. All you need to have is a still camera with an iPad on it, and you can film practice. And I'm going to show you how even in those infant stages, I was really able to help improve players. I felt having that virtual, visual, tangible example was something that was really going to allow me to really emphasize something that I wanted and felt were huge importance, were these habits and details. And I was going to use practice video to help improve those. And I think through that, your habits and details have no choice but to get better. And ultimately, you're going to leave with a better foundation. So my first challenge was trying to figure out how I could be a better coach, how I could develop players in the American Hockey League. So I went to training camp in Pittsburgh, and I'm filming all the practices, So trying to make myself better, filming all the practices. And sure enough, we have an absolute outlier to this whole situation. We have a player by the name of Sidney Crosby that we all know and love. And I guess some teams maybe love more than others, but in terms of a case study, and he was an absolutely perfect case study for me. I went into this, again, trying to see how the drills were going to work best for me to be able to teach them. But now I was going to try to find players that were excellent and perfect at doing them. And there was no better example, and there's been no better example over the 25 years that I've been involved in pro hockey of practicing with a purpose and practicing with the details, the habits, and the execution, and then doing it at a pace the way that Sidney Crosby does it. So I then started to incorporate, and I started to take some video of him and how the drill should look, how the drill is drawn up to look, how the drill is designed to be done. Okay, and this is the right way to do it. And if you wanted to get to this level, this is going to be the guy that you're going to use as your example for doing this, because at that time, arguably, obviously, no one really a better player in the game than him at the time, but definitely no one is a better practicer. And you can really see this, and I'm going to show you how I use this, because his desire to improve is easy to see every day. His details, okay, he works at every single day, and it's really become part of his DNA. Okay, and as a result, his game continues to improve, obviously, every year, and it still does right now. So my whole idea was to take those practices, and I was going to bring those back to Wilkes-Barre with me. We were going to be doing these same drills that I had filmed there in my time in Pittsburgh. I was going to show that to the players in Wilkes-Barre. I was going to give them that tangible, visual example of how the drill should look. And I often chose drills that were not super high end. Obviously, his backhand is maybe the best ever. His down low play is phenomenal. His ability to knock pucks out of the air, all that stuff is great. But once you see this next piece of video that I ended up cutting from 12 years ago, this was the stuff that I wanted to really put into place for my players in Wilkes-Barre. And now looking back on it is something that I know that I had success with. So we ended up having 13 players called up that year to Pittsburgh. And a lot of them, since in further conversation with them, were able to relay to me that this ended up being something that really they were able to use as a chance to get better every day. And that's the idea of practicing with a purpose, practicing for a reason, practicing to improve, to get better. Every drill is done for a reason. Now let's take a look at some of that video that I used. Okay, so again, we're going to go back. There it is. 12 years ago, this is practice video in Pittsburgh. Here's a simple example. I'm going to show you a bunch of simple drills so that all different levels can use this to help teach their players, okay, how this drill is done. So here's just a simple entry drill. Again, tough video from 12 years ago, but Sidney Crosby made this pass. He goes down 2-on-0, okay, passes this puck off the pads, okay, and we end up scoring a goal. Okay, that's how I used to talk about practices. That's how I used to talk about practices, okay, until I understood that that is not the right way to go through these things, okay? So now let's talk about, this is the real way that I talked about practice and the detail that I emphasized now when I'm in Wilkes-Barre. So guys, let's take a look at how Sidney Crosby does this drill right here. And girls, let's take a look at this. Sidney Crosby makes this pass. He skates as hard as he can. He makes that pass right on the tape right here. He doesn't swing up into this area. He gets level with the person that he's passing the puck with. He catches this puck on his backhand. It's not a perfect pass. He's going full speed in this situation. Okay, he's entering 2-on-0. He gets to this spot on the ice. He's underhandled the puck. Okay, he's kept it in a shooting and a passing position. He knows right now he can either try to score a goal, which he doesn't feel he can do right now, or he needs to put this puck in a position that his teammate that's going to the net can be rewarded for going to that spot. So now Sidney Crosby, the detail, the habit that he has to get at is hitting this right pad right here. Anything on this pad or over on this side or up in the glove, the play is ended. Okay, so he wants to give his teammate a chance to have success. So look where he puts this puck. Right off this right pad right here. Okay, and this is the detail that he has in his game, even though it's 2-on-0, and it sets up his partner here for success. All right? Just a simple entry drill that we can all do, but the detail is the important part right here. Now let's go through another drill. Again, another entry drill right here. He makes this pass. He comes across. Watch this. Full speed as fast as he can do the drill. Gets this pass right here. Okay, now this drill is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be an entry drill. All right, you can see he underhandles the puck. His head is up. He's going as fast as he can. The detail here. Make sure he gets this puck over the blue line so that there's no offside. Okay, allows his teammate to drive the net, creates space here, heads laterally the best that he can, so he gets himself into a shooting area here, and now releases and puts it in the back of the net here. Obviously, these are the details and the ways that I was able to communicate and bring this video to people within Wilkes-Barre. Not just going to show it on entry levels, I want to show it in some other areas as well. So let's simply watch this drill right here. It's a simple 5-on-0 drill, okay, that works on some offensive zone habits. Offensive zone habits, here you can see, here he is, and I'm just going to let this drill run. And I'm going to talk about it how most people would normally talk about a drill. Right now, he's going to cycle up. He cycles into this spot. He passes to this F3 area. They take a shot. Okay, he gets the puck. There's a second puck coming right now. He cycles up the wall. He passes to his D-man. This puck is shot on net. Everybody's looking for a tip. Okay, the whistle goes. Now we're going to do a regroup. We're going to go again, enter with speed here, and he's going to finish this play. Okay, now let's go back right here. Let's go back to how I would now talk about this drill and how we can learn and figure out the details of what Sidney Crosby does in a 5-on-0 drill that makes him different. Okay, and this is the type of stuff that I was able to bring with me and teach the players in Wilkes-Barre how to improve every single day and know that that practice is being done with a purpose. So now let's watch Sidney do this drill, the same exact drill. Now let me talk you through how I would talk about this with the players I'm working with. So right now he knows that this is a cycle play. So right now, instead of when he makes this pass, he works away from the puck, but watch what he does right here. Okay, instead of going on the wall right here, which he easily could do, okay, he knows that he owns this area of the ice, the space of the ice. Okay, so he now skates to this spot. So any defender that wants to close on him is not going to be able to use the wall to get him in the stop position. He creates body space right here. He gets this puck. He gets it on his backhand. Receives it on his backhand. He tight turns. He has the puck in a passing position right now. Underhandles it. Zips it right now on the tape, okay, of Chris Kunitz. And then goes to the net right here just in case there's a rebound. All right, now that we slow this down, now that we have that visual, tangible example to be able to teach, we can talk about this. Now watch what happens on this one. There's a cycle play up the wall. Again, lots of players will come over on the wall right here. What that does is that allows you to get squished off here, okay, and get you to be stuck on the wall. He owns this whole area of the ice, so now he creates his own space from a potential opponent in this situation. As he cycles up this puck, he has the puck in a passing zone. I can tell you right now that he is showing deception. He is looking at this near defender, okay, when he's looking to make this pass. All right, a lot of people saw this pass to the point right here and thought nothing of it. Let me tell you how he does this drill. He is not passing this puck right to this spot because he knows in a game, a defender is right where my arrow is, okay? So he wants to give this defenseman the most time he can have to have success. So he passes it, okay? Our defenseman's feet are now outside the blue line, which if we had a defender in this situation, he would now have more time to be able to make this play, get his head up, and make the proper play with it. So now this defenseman's able to use the whole space. After he makes his space, he doesn't watch his pass. He comes to a spot where right here he's looking for a high tip, okay? Comes for a high tip. These are the details I'm talking about. Comes for the high tip. It's not a high tip. It's a rebound. The puck is in play, and now instead of going over to here to help out with this rebound, he goes to a spot where he can get an open net. If this puck is passed right to here, he has a wide open net. All right, so that's his understanding of spacing. Now watch what happens. The whistle is blown. He skates as hard as he can right now out to take a look. He does a shoulder check to see where his partners are. Right now he sees that he needs to be filling the middle lane of the ice. He sees that this puck is not going to be distributed through him. It's going to be distributed through a post pass right here. This pass is made through the post. Okay, and watch how much speed he gathers here. He gathers his puck, and in practice, going full speed, he one-touches it to himself here, has the puck in a passing position, and quickly releases it and finds the back of the net. Okay, so now we've seen some offensive zone plays of how, again, the detail and habit that Sidney Crosby has. I think it's important that I go into two more details here to show you how I was able to bring this video back and how much different it is than just talking about a drill, showing the purpose that every one of these drills has. And obviously you can see the passion and excitement that I have when I talk about this because this is something that's special. All right, simple breakout drill. No one's even forechecking, 3-on-0. This one easily can be done right here. This centerman can come and stay up high. Nope, not Sidney Crosby. He goes all the way down to the blue paint, exactly how the draw is drilling up. Okay, this draw drill is drawn up in this spot. He gets the puck right now through the blue paint because he knows he doesn't want to be accepting it up here. He gets it good and low, and he knows as soon as he gets this puck, he wants to be inside the dots. Gets himself inside the dots with speed, with execution, and now makes this pass. Again, it's the little details that he does there that are ones that you want to point out. Let's watch him do this drill right here. Finish up with my last drill of him. It ends up being a situation where we're coming into D-zone coverage. Coming into D-zone coverage, watch how hard the guy works to be the first player back. He comes in and he stops. His stick right now is on the ice where it should be, okay? He's in a situation right now where we're in D-zone coverage. He knows he's the second man in the D-zone coverage right now. He's going to get this puck and he's going to execute this play. He already knows where the next play is. As soon as he gets it, he moves it and gets his feet going. Gets his feet going as hard as he can right here. He's going to support this if there is a rebound in play. Second phase of this drill is going to be a regroup. Watch the habits and details that he has here so that in the game, these things become second nature. Here's what he does right here. He takes a look around. There's his shoulder check right there. Okay. He looks and sees where his other partners are. Okay. Now he sees them both heading to their individual wings. He knows now he needs to be the middle option. Okay. Watch how he now is always available. Right now, the habits he has, take a look at these habits. If this D-man wants to pass the puck to him, he's available, he's an option, okay? The actual rep is going to be distributed through here, so now he gets his speed going, okay, coming in, attacks again with speed, and then here he is stopping at the front of the net. Okay, these are the examples. I showed you 5 different ones that I think were ways that I was able to bring these back to Wilkes-Barre. Before I get into our next phase of this and how you use this, I think this is something that's really important. You can all use this individually with your own teams, whether you have your great example, on your team. Let's say your top player has excellent habits and details like this, and your third best player comes to you and says, how come that first player on our team is playing so much more than I am? And how come he's better than I am? And then now you have examples of this. Again, this could come from a still shot. These are all still shots. There's not someone specially videoing these things. Just set your iPad up in the stands, have a parent do it, okay? And then now you're gonna have some tangible visual examples to really show the difference of how people that are really trying to get better are doing drills. So this is something that I think is very applicable to all different skill levels. And again, number of ways that you can use this once you have it. This was just an example of how I used it. So something that was really important for me and I thought helped me. My next challenge was after I moved out of Wilkes-Barre and again, developing players, okay, I then was tasked with my next challenge. And my next challenge when I got to Pittsburgh was I was gonna have to take over the power play there. Okay, obviously a great honor to be coaching the Pittsburgh Penguins and dealing with these type of players that you're seeing over here on the right. Okay, obviously a Crosby, a Kunitz, a Malkin, a Letang. These players are phenomenal players. This is my second challenge. My second challenge was coming in and I had to take over a power play that has the likes of those players. Fortunate for me, okay, was that their team had come off a bad year. Okay, they were the 25th ranked power play the year prior to me coming there. Obviously, they're an extremely talented group, but in my research that I did, I noticed that they needed to have a little bit more time spent on detail. And I also felt that at times they were unpredictable to one another. So immediately my thought went to, okay, how can we practice special teams with a purpose? How are we gonna practice with a purpose, but practice our power play with a purpose? And what we were gonna do is I was gonna film all the power play practices. And then that was gonna be something that I saw the success I could have with individual players in Wilkes-Barre and individual development of players and individual team there. Now let's see if we can do this, okay, to give visual, tangible examples to the players of where our shortcomings were. So I started videoing practice again, something that's doable for everybody. You're going to see the video that I ended up having to use in Pittsburgh that year. And I worked on our breakouts. I worked on our end zones. We ended up using face-offs, okay, and reading off of that. And I can tell you after talking to these players, okay, this is a big part of our change around from that season, from the 25th, and where we ended up finishing that year was 5th. Okay, and then it also became part of our DNA, part of our structure, part of our foundation of what we did as a power play and the time and the effort we put into it. The next 3 seasons we combined to have the best power play in the league, okay, and over those next 3 seasons. And this is how I did it, okay? So again, here's taking a look at it. Again, 12-year-old video. Want you to see this. Obviously, this is not being run by my video coach. This is a freestanding camera right here that looks from up top. Okay, and you can see this situation right here. This is how I had to work with. This was the video I had to work with. Okay, first time in that console energy center. Here's what we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at this breakout. Okay, and this is how, in the prior times, this is how the breakout was discussed. They're gonna do a 4-back right here, and they're gonna have this player come up and do a drop pass to him. We're gonna call this the slingshot, and we're gonna go in, and we're gonna get an entry. Okay, so this is how they had done things. Okay, and this was what was going to happen. I was going to take this to a new level, and I was going to talk to them about the detail of what we're doing here. So let's look at each individual player on this, okay? Let's really use the video to understand, okay? Keeping in mind that when you're showing video and now you know you're gonna show it to those players, automatically their accountability ticks up, okay? Because they don't wanna make a mistake in front of their teammates, all right? They don't wanna be made fun of or any of that stuff, so you have that intrinsic little pressure that they can be held accountable on. So right here now, I'll talk you through the details and why this breakout works and why this is a good one. Again, it's called the slingshot. So right now we've got our defenseman that's carrying the puck up in this situation is carrying it up through the middle of the ice. He has a chance right now to potentially use this player on this side of the ice. He has an option on this side of the ice. The timing of this is really good. They're coming with speed, all right? And everyone's in the spots they need to be in, okay? So right now, Malkin's timing, this is Malkin in this situation. His timing to get this drop pass to start our slingshot entry, okay, is at a perfect spot. There's good detail and habits from this defenseman that's carrying the puck up. And now we've got ourselves to have a number of different entry points once we gain the zone in this situation. So we had Sidney. He's coming through here. He's able to get this pass if he wanted to. We have options that are in play. If not, he's going to come with speed, and he's going to end up right in here and end up eventually where we want to have him in zone in his set. Okay, now Malkin carries this puck. Again, the detail enters the zone, and now he knows his outs are any of these kick out plays flat right here, okay, or to the outside, or he can put the puck into this area where he knows that Sid can get this with speed. Malkin enters this puck, okay, continues his route, okay, in case we need to use him to break the pressure, and now we move it up top. And now we're going to get into some of our end zone looks. Okay, so initially in Pittsburgh, we started with a 2-3 or an overload type of a look. You can see a look at that right now, so we can start to look at our details. Right now you see that they're really in a good box right here versus our power play set. So what we wanted to do, okay, is take this area of the ice, okay, and be able to attack that from either flank position right here. We know we have two people at the front of the net, so that's where our 2-on-1 is, and we're able to shoot this puck and create this puck play on net for a possible tip option immediately after entering the zone. Let's talk a little bit more about the end zone, okay? We also started to switch that year to a 1-3-1 look, and it was 10, 12 years ago. The really important part of this was this middle relief option. How to use him to help break pressure in zone, okay? And that's something that I thought that would be even more easily explained when you had the visual example of it. So now I'm filming this in zone look right now, showing how, okay, we were going to use this to break pressure, all right, and then we were going to still keep in mind, okay, our 1-3-1 look with our net front presence, all right, but our power play in Pittsburgh was all about attacking, okay, and keeping the opposition on their heels. Passing and going here. You can see how we use the middle of the ice, and what happens when you use that middle of the ice. Everyone turns their head, goes to that middle option, and then here's Malkin with a give and go, and he's able to convert right there. This is all from one practice that I'm showing you this right here. So now again, here we are. We're in our 1-3-1 set. Okay, we're in a situation right now where this box is in a pretty good spot right now. We haven't done a whole lot to break this thing down. So now we've got to change it. We've got to get this. We've got to get the details of how to get them out of structure. So Crosby in this situation tries a flank-to-flank pass. We end up getting this puck, and now here's the real detail that we need to figure out. The reads we need to find from penalty killers and stuff that you couldn't do unless you had video of this. Okay, what you have right now is you have the penalty kill forecheck, penalty kill in zone pressure comes way out high here. Comes really out high here. All right, the pressure's out top. Now we made this play. Okay, there's your visual of your 1-3-1. There's your 1-3-1, but now we don't have the same box to break down. So we have this player attacking in this situation. Now you can start to see the seams that open up. So now Sidney knows that if this player is going to pressure up this much, he can use this middle relief or use this flank option. And now we're going to be able to have a chance to catch this puck and shoot and put it in the back of the net. Okay, again, practicing with a purpose. Big part of power plays now, okay, with so much pressure that's going on, is knowing your outs, okay? And that's the one thing that I thought you can improve through video again as well by showing it and by getting practice example is predictable of where you're going to be. Right now, Chris Kunitz is getting a bunch of pressure in this situation. He knows right now his outs, his ways to break this pressure can be a direct pass to Evgeny Malkin in this situation right here, or he can go up top. Actually, they do a really good job of taking away time and space. This play gets closed off, and now you see Malkin come over to help with pressure. Okay, perfect. He helps with this pressure. He gets the puck, and now is go time, because this penalty kill now is out of structure. Okay, their angles are not the same. They're out of structure. We can attack this because one of their defenders is over here against the wall. And obviously we have talented players here. So let's attack the unstructured play. Okay, now seams open up. We're able to use this area of the ice, and then this turns into a one-timer back up top and goes off the crossbar. So this was a really important, I think, part of how we were able to continue to get better in Pittsburgh. The details, and obviously I could go into much greater depths than that, but this is a way that I think initially to be able to, at all levels, to be able to improve some of the reads that your team making sure that everybody is on the same page, I think is a huge part of improvement and getting better. Okay, now I'm going to go into more of the meat and potatoes of this exercise and of the practice with a purpose. And this is, I think, going to be the most usable for you, and it's been the most usable for our team in Washington. In 2014 here, just some bullet points before we get to the video. In 2014, I had the chance to join Barry Trotz, who is known as someone that does an outstanding job of changing cultures and creating cultures for a hockey team as he had in Nashville. This is our first year. We were coming into Washington to take over the Washington Capitals. The Capitals had missed the playoffs the year before, and we wanted to figure out a way that we could change the culture. He obviously had a number of great ways to do that, and we started to implement those immediately, as you can see here. Okay, and then now once you start to do those, you have to be able to see what's going on ice. How are things going on ice? How is this working for us? Where is our team at? And I think you have to assess things, and you start to get a little bit of an understanding of where your team is good and not so good. And what we found out early in our time there was that our practice habits and our details were subpar. Okay, and it was carrying over into our game. At this point of the year, we were a quarter of our way into the year, and we were sitting there with a record of just, I think it was just over 500. So we were like 15, 14, and 2 or something like that. So we had decided that we had to find a way to make our practices better. Now, this was an area that I had some expertise in and had used. So this was something that I mentioned to Barry. I said, Barry, have you ever used any video in practice to help make players better? And he had something that he had not used before, not used practice video as a tool to help players improve. So that's something that I said, listen, I've got a good idea here that I think we can use and we can add. And in that very first year, they had not used it in Washington prior to that. And it was something I felt really comfortable with. And obviously I had those 2 great examples of improving individuals and improving power plays and practicing with a purpose. And I thought that that's what I wanted to get in place. So what we did from that point on is we got a camera set up. As you can see right here, this is how the camera we had set up. Players didn't think anything of it because there's always video cameras there. Whether it's they're filming episodes for their sports network that night, or they're ready to do on the sports part of their Newsnet delivery. So it's wasn't a big deal to them. They didn't think anything of it. But what we did is we started to film all of our practices. Okay, and then once we gathered enough evidence that our practices were not good, then we had a team meeting. We had a team meeting and we said, okay, how good do we want to be as a team? How good do we want to be? Because right now, let me tell you that we're making some improvements off the ice, but right now on the ice, we're just a 500 team, guys. We're a 500 team, and I feel one of the biggest reasons for that is because we are not practicing with a purpose. Okay, we're going on the ice as it's something to do between games. Okay, and we're not using that situation to get better. And what I want to prove that to you. So what we've been doing is we've been filming practices here for the last few weeks. And I want to show you that it's not just me coming in here and saying these things. I want to show you the visual ways that you're not taking advantage of these times on the ice and we're not getting ourselves better. So we actually had a really tough video session with our guys that day. And then immediately we saw the example. They were all shocked. What, you guys are filming practice? They'd never heard of that before. So they were initially caught off guard. But immediately you could see, okay, now that they knew that they were being filmed, that accountability automatically went up because they didn't want to, no player likes being shown in front of their teammates making mistakes. So automatically we were able to improve there, okay? And now I had to find the way to be able to loop this into, and this is to the main point of where we're at right now. So initially you have to stun them with some negatives about how they practiced. Now you need to show them, okay, that what you're doing in practice, okay, is going to translate immediately into a game. And this is the real important part of with this presentation. And again, you don't need to have someone up here doing this for you. If you have an iPad, just set up stationary in the stand. You can get all this practice, and you're going to get examples like this. And this would be the process. And again, the real meat and potatoes of this presentation today that I want to give you. So here it is. Okay. So what happened then was we got video, and what we did with that video is we then got to a point where we took that video, okay, now, and we weren't being negative anymore with it. I wanted us to look for anything that in our next games, when we were doing our review, that looked like one of the drills that we had done before. And what I was going to do is I was going to start to build a database that had a written example of a drill, then had a practice example of the drill, and then had a game example of a drill. And that is really showing players that you are doing every drill with a purpose. So that was my goal in what we started 6 years ago and where we're at now today with our team in Washington. And I think it's had a huge part to do with the success that our team has had over the last 6 years, obviously winning a Stanley Cup, but winning the Metro Division the last 5 years. This has been a big part of our improvement on our team. So let me explain it to you and go into the details and show you those practices here. We can get going into the fun stuff here in the meat of this presentation. So here's an example for you right here. This is, again, I've chosen very easy, simple drills that can be done by a number of different people, number of different levels of players, okay, that are in this conference that we're going through right here. So this one's called Push the Pace 2-on-0. It's a very simple drill. We're going to look at the black diagram here to start with, okay? Players have a puck right here. They pass this puck across. This player right here gets the puck in full speed now as attacks this defenseman or this coach in this situation. This player, after he's made the pass, is going to skate full speed ahead here, push the pace, get some speed, and we're going to use the area behind this coach right now. We're going to enter into a 2-on-0 situation. That is the black diagram. It's a very easy drill. It's an entry drill. Okay. After we've done the black diagram, then I'll let you know in this presentation that we will switch to the red diagram. So now let's take a look at the red diagram here. The red diagram, this pass is made across now. Instead of coming over here, I want this player to sprint, okay, all the way to the far blue line. What that's going to do is it's going to push this coach that's here all the way back into the zone. Okay, so now we don't need to make a chip behind him. We want to take this area of the ice that he's given us now, and we want to enter the zone and gain entry off of that. After we make this pass, we want to think about the detail of gaining the zone, staying on side. Once you've done this, you want to realize if this is a right or a left-hand shot here, you want to put it in a spot where this player can get it and can do something with it. Okay, and then you want to continue to the net, okay, forcing the opposition to react to what you're doing. Okay, so here's an example right here of how this looks in practice. All right, here's how it looks in practice. They come across in this situation. They come at me. They want to use the area of the ice, okay, behind me in this situation. They chip, they push the pace, and now you can see the same thing going on at the other end of the ice is coming right at us here. And there's 2-on-0 coming down. Again, not a great shot right there because it ends up right in the glove of the goaltender. So now let's take a look at this again. Make this pass across. Now this coach will vary his depth. Sometimes he'll be a little bit inside the blue line. Sometimes he'll be back here. It's up to this player to realize that he needs to get this puck by this coach. And then what he needs to do is he needs to work to be an option. Okay, so watch the habits and details of what they do here. So now he skates right at this defender as close as he can. He chips this puck and then goes as hard as he possibly can, okay, to be an option. Okay, and that's something you're going to see here in just a little bit, the importance of that. Now you can see same drill going on here. You can see I was up here. They chipped by me in this situation, and now they come down and again, shooting with a purpose to score a goal. All right, so there's your push the pace 2-on-0. You've seen a diagram of it. You've seen a video practice of it. Now let's find some game examples. Okay, here's some great game examples. Here's a game against Pittsburgh. TJ Oshie gets this puck right here. Okay, there's this defender or coach is in this spot. He knows we need to use the area of the ice behind that coach. He chips the puck behind the coach. What did we say after you chip? Okay, now it's very difficult for this defender. Is going to be caught flat-footed. So this is your time to race up the ice. TJ races up the ice right now. Now he's hoping to turn this into a 2-on-1 situation, which is what you see him doing right here. Okay, this defenseman now needs to play this different because TJ is beating his opponent up the ice. And now we get an easy entry. Actually, the back referee on this ends up calling a penalty. And now in a 4-3 game with 5 minutes to go, we end up going on the power play. So really good look at the detail right there. Very similar to the chip. 2-on-0 push the pace chip by the coach right here. Here's Richard Panik. Let's watch him versus the Rangers. Again, it's going to happen all over the ice. This time Richard Panik has this puck. Okay, instead of this player standing up right now, he skates at him and he puts this puck out to a space. Okay, what's he supposed to do after he gets this puck out to a space? Move your feet. Move your feet to be an option, okay? We've used the area behind this player in this situation, so we have open ice. Right now, this player, Fox, in this situation from the Rangers, if he comes over right now, then we're going to give up a breakaway here to Richard Panik because he's skating. Okay, so Fox wants to do that to take away time and space and close this playoff, but he's like, I can't because right now I've got to go with Richard Panik and make sure I stay with him so I don't give up this area of the ice. And in turn, because we've done that, we've allowed ourselves an easy entry. Okay, by having those details and those habits, they're part of our foundation that we have as players, and now we've added speed. Happens a bunch of different ways, so I've got some other examples for you here. Again, using Carl Hagelin's speed. Puck goes right here behind this defender. Carl Hagelin has speed, drives it in, and we end up getting a chance off the short post. Here's another great example. This one's actually out of defensive zone coverage. TJ Oshie's in defensive zone coverage. Same type of feel. He knows he feels this defenseman down on him. He wants to use the area of the ice behind this defender, okay, and put this puck out to space so now we can play in the offensive zone. So you have Alex Ovechkin just ringing this one off the blocker right here and going out of play. So that's a really good example of it. So now I want to talk about the red diagram. I said there was a second facet of this drill. Here's the red diagram. Here's Nick Backstrom. Passes this, great habits and details, building his foundation. Every practice's drill is done with a reason, with a purpose. This one gets moved ahead right here. Okay, now we have this area of the ice, okay, that we're allowed to enter in. Now we can make this pass to a left-handed shot. It's in a great shooting area for him, and now this player is able to go to the net. Let's take a look at this drill again. Okay, so right now, this pass is made over here. There's no one standing up, so now Ovi in this situation gets to the middle of the ice. Okay, gets to the middle of the ice, can take all this room. Okay, now let's watch this other example. TJ Oshie coming at me. No one's standing up here. This coach is not standing up, so now he's able to enter the zone. Watch the detail that he has in his game right here. Okay, if he makes this pass right now, there's a chance Michael Kempny could be offside right now. If you notice, we have forwards and defensemen in all different spots on these drills. Okay, TJ Oshie gains the line, makes this pass right on the tape of Michael Kempny, goes to the net, exactly how he is here, and finishes the drill, and it's in the back of the net. Okay, so that's exactly how I would have it. I would have that drill drawn up in the red diagram. Now I'd show the practice of it. Okay, now I'm looking for my game example. And it only took one game. Okay, guys and girls that are here taking in this agenda, during this, my agenda of practice with a purpose here in this clinic, okay, showing you different things. Practice with a purpose right here. We get this puck to John Carlson in the middle of the ice. This is game one of the season, okay? And I'll show you how I use this. Very similar. He gains the zone. He moves this puck out wide, stationary kick out, and goes to the net. Okay, so how I would use this. The next day, we end up winning this game against St. Louis. Okay, great win for us. We end up winning in overtime on this game. But this is how I would do it. I'd say we did a lot of good things in the St. Louis game. All right, but this is the one I want to talk about and why I say that every drill is done with a purpose and with a reason. Here you see John Carlson, exactly what we saw in our practice, exactly the way we practice this. All I had to do was wait for one game to get this. Okay, the detail that John has, he has to get onside first. Gets this puck onside, on his backhand, he passing to a righty. He makes this pass right on the tape for Alex Ovechkin, and he goes to the net. Ideally, what we said is he would go to the net as a tip option. Right now, he goes to the net as a tip option. He's not used, okay? But what he does do is he brings traffic with him. So right now, for a second, Binnington loses this puck, and because Parenko follows John to the net right here, he becomes a screen of his own goaltender. And now a great goal by Ovi, but a lot of it happens because of what John does right there. And I would talk about that habit in detail of what John does there. Okay, I'm happy about us scoring the goal, but I'm really happy about the fact that John Carlson was able to establish that time and space for Ovi to do that. So getting to a second drill here, and again, won't spend so much time with this one, but more talking about different ways to improve your game, 5-man units. Okay, this one is called the Orlando Rim. We're gonna take a look at right now at this drill. It works on the rim play, it works on middle lane drive, okay, and it works on the importance of supporting that wall play, okay. Once this play is made, it works on supporting underneath and being an option coming out of the zone. So this is how it looks. We have one player right here starting this drill with a puck. At the top of our screen, we have a coach in this corner with pucks. We have a line of players here, okay, that are in the middle of the ice. We have a line of players here that are on the wall. This drill starts this way. This player is going to come in, shoots this puck. You can shoot the score if you want, okay. I have this guy in the middle right now is going as a middle lane drive, building his habits, building his details of his game. Okay, there's no rebound here. This puck is rimmed around. This first player in line here is going to come down, make this wall play, okay. He's going to pass it to this player right here that's coming underneath, slow and under control, okay, while he gets this puck, okay, so that he can be an out for his player on the wall that is going to be getting pressured from the second player in line. Now this player is going to skate down the end of the ice, again, shoot this puck on net. And again, this is a drill. It's going to be two-part drill for you, okay? So I'm starting off with the most basic part of it. I'm going to show that to you. And again, this is a drill that I think all different levels of players can use, but it really helps you establish some certain things. And I'm going to point out those details in this video right now as we move forward here. So right here, here's the drill. Again, TJ Oshie shoots this puck. We have our player through the middle lane driving in case there's a rebound in this situation. We have this puck rimmed around the wall. Our player has to execute this wall play. Okay, he's going to get pressure from behind him just like in a game. He's got to execute this play, and now we skate straight down the ice. Now we're into the exact same spot we started this drill. So now we shoot this puck. We have a middle lane drive, so we got good habits there. This puck is rimmed around. This wall play needs to be made here, okay? And this is the most basic way to do the Orlando Rim, okay? Easily done by all different levels of players, okay? Now we're going to talk about the details that go into this drill. So for us, we do this two different ways here in Washington. All right, we're going to have this winger. Ideally, we want our wingers to make all wall plays as high as they possibly can. Okay, so what we want our winger to do is to have the habits. Let's pay attention to his habits. Again, the way the drill starts doesn't change at all. Tom Wilson skates in. Brooks Orpik goes for the rebound right here. Watch the details of this wall play, okay? This wall play, this player shoulder checks, he knows where he's at. He pushes up as far as he can. The further up he pushes outside this blue line, okay, up to this blue line, the easier wall play he's going to have. Underneath, now we have speed and we have support, okay? So now that I have those great, perfect practice reps, what are we going to do? Just like we did before, is now we're going to get game reps. Okay, so here's a look. I want you to look at TJ Oshie. Big part of this drill is the wall play, okay? Let's look at the wall play. Let's look at his habits right now in the game. In the game, because he's done it in practice, it's second nature now. Here he is right now. Take a look at him. He's going as high as he possibly can to get this wall play. He shoulder checks to see where the opposition is coming. Here's a Pittsburgh player coming in. He knows he's going to have to make this play. It's going to be a contested play. He's able to execute this play. And here was the player that initially was the middle lane drive that comes underneath. Now this player gets this puck. And now we have possession and we get an entry off of this. Okay, here's another look at it again. And all players are doing this, so I'm just going to use this as an example, but this is a centerman right now that's playing wing. Okay, so let's pay attention to Lars Eller right now. He isn't down here on this wall play. He tries to push up as high as he possibly can. Here's his shoulder check right there. There's his shoulder check. Now he knows he's going to be confronted in this spot. He knows right here, this is a defenseman that's going to now be the support underneath. Okay, he's able to execute this play versus pressure, exactly how our Orlando Rim drill looks, okay? We're able to gather this puck and we move this play out wide, and now we got an easy possession. All right, so those are two great examples of how that will look. This right here is one that I ended up showing to our team 2 years ago. Here is the wall play. Again, same thing. Where's our winger? We want him pushed up as high as he possibly can be. He's not even in the picture. This winger is pushed up as high as he can. Okay, so now it's this wall play. This player right here is coming underneath, okay, to support the play. Great spot right there, and we're able to make our play. All right, stop the picture right now. Remember how we started the Orlando Rim drill. If you need to right now, go back and look at this, because this is exactly how it started. It started with a shot coming in from here. This player, whether he was a forward, defenseman, whatever he was going to establish middle lane drive. Those were the habits we wanted to establish. So here it is. Okay, we've already seen the importance of the wall play that happened. Now it's taken in mind the offensive play that was part of this drill as well. This player drives the middle lane, okay, even though he's a defenseman. Now this player can either pass this right here in this situation, or now he's going to play hockey because he has the details in his game. Now he's allowed to be creative, and he's able to show this. So what I would do is I would show that exact play. I would talk about those details. I would bring this puck back, and I would say, this is a great shot by this player in this situation, number 65, Andrei Burakovsky. But you want to know why this play happened? This play happened right here because this wall play happened. This play was underneath, and we were able to execute this exactly how we do in the Orlando rim. Okay, and that's why every drill is done with a reason and with a purpose. And now this is the way that we scored this goal. That's exactly how I would explain that. Okay, that's not all the things are not always going to happen that way. Okay, so sometimes plays are going to end up being take us down a little lower. So one of the options we use in Washington now is we have this middle lane drive player. He goes to the net for the rebound. Is the rebound there? No, but he stops. Okay, you see Alex Ovechkin here, he stops because he knows that this play is going to come a little bit lower. For whatever reason, this winger has to be down here, whether he's in D-zone coverage or doing different things. Okay, this player in this situation is in this spot, executes this play underneath. Okay, and we're able to carry this puck out and get an easy exit out of that. Okay, right here, now we're going to show game examples. Game examples of this right here. Again, to show you how this works right now, this play is executed underneath. We get this play executed exactly the wall play that we talked about, the habits from Tom Wilson, executed out, and now we have a 2-on-1 situation that we end up starting this game versus Anaheim with. Right here, you're going to see another look at this, okay? Here's the wall play that's made by Jacob Vrana. Here's us coming underneath in this situation, okay? Here's how this play should be looking. All right, we're coming underneath in this situation. We hang on to this puck. We end up getting this one. We execute. We carry this thing in wide, okay, and now we see a highlight reel goal. Okay, I guarantee you, and I did show this play exactly because everyone wanted to see the highlight reel by TJ Oshie, okay? What I talked about when I showed this video right here is this. I talked about this wall play being the thing that set up this whole goal. Right now, Orlando rim coming lower. There's the wall play, okay? Because Evgeny Kuznetsov comes good and low right here, even though he fumbles this, he's good and low, so now he's not getting any pressure. Now we're able to execute this play, and we put this out to TJ, and obviously this is a highlight reel goal, but I can tell you right now that TJ scores this goal, and the first thing he's saying right now is that's unbelievable wall play that was made back here by Jacob Vrana. That's the culture that we have established now with our guys. We're practicing with a purpose. Here's again another look at this play. Here it is again, Tom Wilson. Let's watch him come into the zone here. Comes into the zone, puck protects, uses the area underneath. Now we get this puck, we carry it, we execute up top. And then now, how does this drill look again? Exactly the way we started Orlando rim, right here. After we've seen the wall play, great one by Tom Wilson, John Carlson, even though he's a defenseman, middle lane driving, okay, brings somebody with him, and then obviously that's just an elite shot by a great goal scorer. So again, ways to do this to be able to build habits and foundations to get better. Not only do I use it for normal drills, I also use it for optionals, okay? Optionals, one of the things that bothers me, okay, is players going out for optionals and they actually are out there taking their options, so they're not getting any better. We film our optionals, okay? I want to give this example. Simple drill here. You guys can go back and look at this one. It's called the Tallahassee two-shot. Okay, I'm going to explain it to you through the video here so we can keep this presentation moving best we can. But right now you see what happens. There's a pass made. We attack in this situation. The second player in line, this puck is passed behind him and he's able to skate into the zone, use this area of the ice, take a shot, and score a goal. Here's Nick Backstrom doing it, okay? Again, out of the other way, just so you see this. Our optionals are filmed so we can use this stuff to help us. Here he is. He attacks this apparatus. He takes his shot. Here he is. He comes with speed. This pass is made by his second guy in line behind him. He picks that up. He comes in, shoots, and scores. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because this drill itself right here, that we have the great example of it. We have the written example. We have the great example of it in game. Now I want to tell you that the next time our team practiced, okay, was against Philadelphia in this game. We went from that optional and we went right into a game. It was the next game the next day. Okay, right to the next day, we're playing Philadelphia and we practiced this skill. And I can check it. It's 100% for sure what had happened. This very play happens in the very first period. Carl Hagelin gets this puck and he's not able to pass this directly to Brett Connolly. This happened 2 years ago. So he goes off the wall here into speed, And now Brett Connolly gets this chance by using that Tallahassee 2-shot pass. A lot of us didn't think that went in. So here's just an example that actually did go in, even though the ref called it no goal. So we ended up getting that changed. Here's another example, okay, again, of using the area of the ice behind the player, okay, and then allowing us to use our speed to skate. I've got a replay of this to really show you how important this is. Right now, if you wanted to make this pass directly to this player, this is going to get picked off by this Philadelphia player. Then it's not. So this puck is put out to space. Now these guys are feeling the heat of his speed, and now you see Jacob being able to execute this play and set up his partner here for success. Okay, I'd like to say that every game was like that, and every time we did it, it turns into goals. That wasn't the case in this situation. So here's an example of a 1-1 game where, again, if this pass was made by John Carlson directly to Carl Hagelin, he does not catch this pass. It's actually bounced off here, goes into a situation where that's going to end up being a chance here for Carl Hagelin to get that opportunity. The other thing that we do when we're doing these drills, okay, is we use a lot of video. Okay, we use a lot of video to film the practices as well. So I want to show you some practice video here of our games. Okay, and a lot of you guys have done this through games in the past. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the exact game component of this. Again, we worked on the habits and the details first. Now we're going to work on the importance of taking this stuff to the next level and playing game action. Okay, so we worked on developing those foundations and details in our first drills. Obviously, now we're going to go into a game, and then we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one, because one of the downfalls of showing video and filming practice, okay, is you're sometimes going to be put in a situation where you're going to have to maybe defend a call that went the wrong way. But here we're in this game's called Lax. It's two nets are faced back to back here. The video of this or the drill diagram is placed before us before we saw this. So go back and take a look at this. We're actually in a tie game at this time. We're filming this. Okay, and I want to let you know our players are extremely competitive about these games, because what we do is we keep track of the score, their individual wins and losses all year. Okay, so they get pretty jacked up when they win and pretty pissed off when they lose. So this is an example of what happens. And this is one downfall of videoing. I think it's great because it builds the camaraderie, builds the competition with our teams. Right now you're going to see, and it's tough to kind of see here, but you can see Evgeny Malkin is getting this puck. This puck is in the air. It's in the air right now. Evgeny Malkin knocks it out of the air. You can see his stick right here, knocks it out of the air. So technically it's a high stick, correct? Okay, red team right now plays it still. There's no whistle by our coach that was in charge here, okay, and they end up scoring the goal. And what do we see right now? The red is celebrating, and you can see right now the players on the white are looking right now at we have our video coach videoing this. You don't all have to do that, but in our situation we do. And they're asking for a review on this. Right now they're like, there should be a review, there should be a review. White team's all mad, not happy. Okay, you can see the red team celebrating, rubbing it in a little bit, because now they know that that's fun, but these guys are not happy. There's actually a good story to tell with this one, is that the next day, these players were talking about this all day in practice. So we said, you know what, we'll watch it tomorrow as a group. We want to get better in practice. We're practicing for a purpose. They're like, okay, if that's what you're going to say, then we want to play by the right rules. And sure enough, we ended up taking this goal back, and we ended up replaying this. And the red team ended up winning still, but it was just a fun exercise to go through, and ended up building a little bit of team bonding amongst your teams. So here's another drill we did this with. Okay, it's a 2-on-2 drill. Again, you guys have seen a lot of great drills through these coaching clinics. And again, I'm not necessarily part of my agenda, so I'm just going to show you the drill here, and again talk about the competitiveness we have from our guys. Encourage games usage right here. Great chance, and it's just so we know, it's the blue and the red on one team here versus the white. Okay, it's a tie game right now in this situation. All right, the white team is fully in control. They have this puck. They end up getting great opportunity here. They're in a good spot. But what happens right now is Nick Backstrom hooks into him right here. That's a penalty. Hooks into his hands. Actually, this guy's coming out to help play the puck. He's not supposed to be either. And what does this turn into? This turns right into a breakaway goal right here. Okay, now you can see again, white team's mad at the guy who didn't call the referee that didn't call this. Okay, and in turn the red and blue know it. They celebrate. And obviously, they're having a ton of fun right there. And like I said, we always talk about everything you're doing, everything you do is for a reason. When we win a game, I want us to celebrate, so that if you ever do get in this situation like this, that you're able to celebrate properly. And then that's something that we were able to do 2 years ago. And this was celebrating properly right after a win of a game and a win of a drill. Obviously, amazing moment for the Washington Capitals. But hopefully after this, you can see how you can use all different drills to improve your practices. Have the video. Now you have your initial part of it in terms of the diagram part that's written up. You have the practice video, and now you have game video to back it up. So it really helps show the players and prove to them that practicing with a purpose shows up in the game action, and they should take it seriously and they should go about it, and they can also have some fun with it. So the next phase of this, okay, and this one has continued to build now over 6 years. Okay, so 6 years we've been doing this. We continue to evolve, continue to challenge our players to get better. And this is a way that really helps our players, and something now that we've challenged them with is we have all these examples, okay, of our practices. Now we have the video footage of it. We have the drills that are drawn up like this, and now we have game examples. So when we have that, when our players come to practice, we can utilize that to our strengths and our abilities here, and we can give them a chance to get prepared for practice. So how things stand right now for the Washington Capitals, when they come to practice, this practice is going to be posted like this in 2 different areas: paper, okay, written down with a diagram exactly how the drill should be done, all the details of it right here, and then it's going to be designed that this practice is going to be 45 minutes. You guys can go back and take a look at this and see how much time we allot for the drills, and again, the variations of the drill we're doing. Okay, when our players they come in, now what our current standard of procedure is for when they show up for practice, okay, this is what happens. We have this showing right now in what we call a loop. Okay, a loop is like I'd say a video that continues to run over and over and over again for those of you that haven't used it. And what we do is we have it set up where first they have the written, you'll see the bottom screen right here, and this is in our locker room. We have 2 TVs that are running this full time as soon as the players show up at practice until they actually go on the ice. So it's written up how it's supposed to be done with the details. You can see in the back right here, there's 6 players stretching out, getting ready for practice. They're watching the practice drill of how it's supposed to look. Then after we show them in this written or this video part, then they're going to see the game action and how that translates into a game. Why we do this, again, continuing to evolve, continuing to get better, continue to keep things different. After being there for 6 years, I put this responsibility now is on them. It's part of their responsibility. When they get there, they need to know the drill and they need to know the order of the drills. Okay, this is giving them ownership in what we're doing. Okay, what else it does is allows me to maximize my time on the ice. I showed you earlier that all I have is somewhere between 4 and 5 hours on the ice of practice. Okay, so by me not having to go to the board as much, by them knowing all the practice drills, I can bring them over for water or have breaks when I want to have. But I don't need to be going to the board every time to stop practice, which is really hurting my ability to condition the players and get them to properly prepare for the upcoming game that will be going to be taking place in. Okay, so we're able to train and perform at the desired pace we want to. We're not stuck by trying to teach them in practice the exact detail. They've already seen it, they've already done it. What like I said, is mentally and physically, it forces their brains to get engaged. They have to know exactly what's going on for this practice. They have to know the order, and they're held accountable for it. Okay, those are the things that really help my practice and help these players. I challenge them mentally and physically. Some other additional reasons to do this, and I strongly encourage you guys doing this and girls doing this when you're having this, is that for me, I had Brandon Dillon come to our team. He had no idea of any of the practice drills we were going to be doing. Okay, in this situation, I have this already done. I already have this done. I have the drill. I said I have the practice, and I have a game footage of that drill being emphasized in the game. Now we can teach it to Brandon Dillon before he even goes on the ice. Okay, now players don't have to be worried about what drill is it next and which one is this. Now they can focus on the detail of the drill and continue to get better. The other thing it does for us coaches is it helps you work with your other coaches before you go on the ice. Helps you remind yourself, obviously we all have hundreds and hundreds of drills, helps remind you of the key details that you want to emphasize, the habits that you want to continue to build with your players when you get on the ice. So everyone's on the same page. What it really does is it shows these players, okay, that we're prepared, we're ready to go on the ice to maximize that 45 minutes, whatever that time period is we get on the ice. I want to be able to take advantage of that, and I want to show them that every drill that we are doing that day, they always want to ask why. Today's generation is all about why. I'll show you exactly why. okay, through these visual and tangible examples. All right, so that's exactly how I use that, something that, and where we're at today with the Washington Capitals. So those are 4 ways we've done this. I want to give you a quick little sneak peek right here at something that I want to share the next time. I can only hope that I'm asked back by the Coaches Association to do another presentation on practice. But this is the next level, and this is something I'm going to talk about next time. So a little sneak peek of this part of the presentation I'm not going to get into today. But what we're able to do now, and where this has evolved, and again, I said this is going to be an evolution, and it has been from those very first days in Wilkes-Barre to where I am now, is we saw that Orlando Rim drill that we did earlier. Okay, now I'm able to measure the workload that each player exerts during that drill. Okay, and I'm just going to touch at it like that. So really a buzzword right now in the NBA is the amount of work that players are putting in during practice. Are we tiring them out too much? And how do we save their energy for a long season? Okay, and I'm going to get into the next time. Okay, that's a sneak peek of how we use technology to continue to get better and improve our players. This is absolutely the next level of doing this, and something that we use. And I look forward to getting in front of you guys again to go back through these things. So just to recap what we've gone through here, practice with a purpose. Hopefully everyone now has a better understanding of practice with a purpose. Hopefully I've given you guys a lot of different ways to be able to utilize this, from the individual development that we showed first with Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Then I showed you some video and how to use that with special teams, and to be able to get more detail in your game so that you can really establish those habits and details and get your team prepared for the games and really know that they're doing everything they can. The meat and potatoes of this presentation was really about those practice drills. Okay, the written part of it, then going into the practice part of it, getting the best practice examples, and then seeing how it showed up in the games. That was the real meat and potatoes of that. Then from there, we went into how you can post those things and start to hold players accountable. And that's what you really want to do, is you want to start holding your players accountable to a certain standard to get better here. And then the last thing I talked about that I want to send you away with today is the understanding, okay, that all this stuff is great, okay, but you have to have a mission statement that you believe in, and you have to prove it. And for me, that statement is this: I want to create an environment where players enjoy coming to the rink. You can see these guys here. This is at practice. They enjoy coming to the rink. Okay, they like being there. They like being there. It's not a waste of their time. They enjoy being there. And they come to work knowing that they have an opportunity to improve, to get better. Okay, because they know that the drills that we're doing are done for a reason. We're practicing with a purpose. Okay, and then they know that if they're not pushed, and they're going to be pushed to do these properly. And if they're not, they're going to be held accountable, okay, to a certain standard that we expect. And that's Washington Capitals hockey. And for me, that's something that hopefully everyone was able to take some pieces of this presentation of practice with a purpose with them. I really enjoyed being here and talking hockey. Obviously, hopefully it's not too long so you guys can implement this stuff as we get closer here towards getting ourselves back on the ice. Certainly it can't happen soon enough, but it looks like we're headed in the direction, and now we're all going to be able to do the thing that we love to do most, and that's be able to coach hockey, to be able to help players not only on the ice but off the ice become better people. So again, I want to thank the Coaches Association for including me on this, and continue to stay safe and healthy.